The following intensive care episode is brought to you by the Scarred Elite, our amazing supporters from Sirenicide's Patreon. Patrons like
John G,
Danielle C,
Amy B,
and Scott F. Join the ranks today. Find out more at sirenicide.com/donations.
This one's gonna require a little intensive care.
All right, get my scalpel. Let's see what's inside.
Welcome to another Sirenicide intensive care episode.
What's up, Scarred Ones? I'd like to welcome the great Desdymona to the intensive ICU. I guess that's a double negative. Our lore master. Welcome to ICE episode 20.
Hi, everybody.
The master of lore with Desdymona. So, Des, before we go into this, usually on this format, we try to let everybody know where they can find you, just in case they're going to shut it off. Don't shut it off. Don't shut it off.
Pretty much every platform you can find me at Desdymona. So that's the easiest.
That's. You want to spell it for him just in case?
DESDYMONA.
All right. Don't do that while you're driving. We're going to have links in the show notes. So you don't really know how to spell it. You don't have to know how to spell it. All right. And what other happenings you have on the internet that they can look up?
So you can find the podcast that I'm a co-creator of, Calling Podcast, on Twitter. And you can find me on TeePublic. You can find my artwork. So they're just do /user and then Desdymona.
All right. And pretty much if you're looking at any of our merchandise that's been from the last 2 years, Dez's hands have been all over it. He's amazing. We're looking at some in the booth right now, the Sirenicide with the scalpel and the syringe, the skyline. She put the new text on it. And then, of course, our little cute version of 447. Dez is the genius mind behind those pieces of art. So, we just can't show enough gratitude. You bring in all of our ideals to life. It's so nice. All right. So we just want to remind everyone that post-interview, we are going to be giving away a Skyline tapestry, speaking of. So if you're looking for a tapestry to hang on your wall and you're like, man, I'd really like to have a Sirenicide one, now is the time to go to patreon.com/Sirenicide and become a patron. Because you can, be entered to win. We're going to be giving away another one. You're not going to win this one. Now, if you're listening to this right now, it's too late. Just saying. But for the, I think it's the 42 people we'll be drawing for at the end of the episode, it could be yours. So stick around. And I guess, oh yeah, this is an ICE episode, as you can tell. Hesitations, ums, ands, it's, us, and mks, and all that good stuff is left in. And unedited for the most part. So without that, we're going to go to the news. Take it away. You're I would say you're the better half. I don't know. It's always fun to grill a husband or wife in that. I just finished interviewing Mervyn Ashworth and Christina Ashworth and pitting them against each other. But anyway, take it away, Stormy, with the news.
47 Action News is closed caption for the hearing impaired. You're watching Channel 47 KZTM TV Morriston. #1 in Texas.
All right, and we are back very short with the news this week. In just a few days, on July 30th, we have the Sirenicide trailer. It's going to drop. I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be freaking epic.
I'm ready.
We haven't heard it yet. All right. So that's pretty much it for the news. We've actually done a pretty good run of these interviews in the last week, so it's kind of stretched the news kind of dry. So we're going to just go right into the intensive care exclusive interview, uncut and unedited, again, for the most part, with Desdymona. And we're going to be talking about a lot of cool things. So Des is what most people don't realize. The whole wave at season 3 going into season 4 has evolved at such a clearer and concise and just cohesive level because of your mad organization skills. So Des is our lore master. Tell him what a lore master is.
Well, I read everything and make sure you don't kill the wrong character.
That guy's dead.
Which hasn't happened. I mean, and I do miss things, but yeah, just keep all the characters and places and things organized and, in the right boxes and make all the lists and then try to remember it all whenever I read them. And
So our list, she's being really modest. She has to go through the episode.
30-something pages of characters.
Yeah, here's all the characters and oh, there's a new power. Awesome.
Remembering that person that didn't have a name in season 3 now has a name and they have to die in this episode, but then they're back alive. What?
What's going on?
And keep them up and was that really that character? Or did we just say that we thought that maybe it's that character?
Right.
And yeah, keep up with all of that and remember it,
So she also so if I'm writing a new episode, I can go into that, and she has set it up where if it's hyperlinked. So say I'm looking at said character's bio and they interact with this lady, I can click that lady's name and it'll take me to her bio. So she's got it all hyperlinked in there and really set up very well. It just a whole lot easier. I set up the character sheet way back when during season 1. I'm all right, each time I do character, I'll put their quick little bio I put on there, and then into season 2, I just gave up because I was just trying to write. So when you came on the staff, it just it helped out so much. More than that, she is a part of all of our table reads. She is in every single creative room that we sit in when we're talking about what's going to happen, taking notes and putting in the input for the storyline and then things like that, and making sure that we this universe we're creating again doesn't fall on itself yet. All right.
Poke plot holes in.
All right, so a short bio. She has done some guest voice over stuff for us. You were the diner waitress in The Powers to Be. And one of my favorite ones is Abby's petticoat. You were the lavish female partygoer 1. And Storm, your husband, was partygoer 2.
Yes.
And it's
He's quite the aristocrat.
I think one day I need to just isolate just that conversation.
Yeah.
Take out Nancy and all that from the lead and just let people hear the party ambience with the music and this is this conversation because it's so good. The children.
We were talking about that in the car, he trying to prep him for what he needed to say, and so he just came up with a whole story about his uncle, and I'm just the petticoats.
Oh man, and it's hilarious because I don't know if you improv that or if it came out of it because Nancy later on in the story said, if I have to hear one more conversation about a petticoat, I'm just gonna.
Oh, I did it on purpose.
Okay,
I did it on purpose.
So
I was
epic.
I have to include something about the petticoats so I can be one of those people that she's annoyed with.
So if you're curious what we're talking about, it's season 3. Episode 11, The Great Fire of New Aurelius. Just when you hear the party scenes, listen extra careful for the party goers in the back. And y'all did that on the fly. It's can y'all do some improv party stuff? I'm trying to put this together and this party is dead.
I didn't even have my closet set up then. I was literally just sitting on the closet floor.
Yeah, it worked out really, really well. All right, so I'm going to go into the exclusive questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So I know this one is, I think you might have one or two.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. So this is not going to be easy for you, I'm sure. So let's rewind back to MySpace days. What is your podcast top 8 in no certain order?
I'm going to include my first answer to this, which is I hate you. That was my gut reaction to that question. Oh my God, I have to do this. So what I did instead was I figured out my top 2 in a bunch of different genres of podcasting. Because my list is probably over 200 at this point of ones that I've at least listened to.
Holy crap.
Maybe not listened to all of them, but I've, dabbled in them or started them or, yeah. So there's a lot. It's a lot of to listen to. Probably listen to at least 150. Wow. So, audio dramas, Wolf 359, absolute, hands down favorite podcast ever. Sci-fi, drama, amazing, everything about it. And then 2 is King Falls AM. So that one's paranormal and a little bit more comedy, but they're both hilarious. and great stories at the same time. And then 2 in the improv area, Hello from the Magic Tavern and Mission to Zyxx. 2 completely different genres, fantasy and sci-fi, but they're people just improving characters put into situations, and they're just amazing to listen to, especially since they're serialized. Like, you could pick up in the middle of them and still be entertained, but they have to maintain the characters throughout the seasons and react to whatever guest character they have. Okay. So those are super, super fun. Weird stuff, I guess, is the category. The paranormal stuff. So besides podcasts that I work on, I'm not listing anything that I have any hands in. Double Density, which I have been on.
I know that
I have
one.
been on them, but I don't work on it. So Double Density, Astonishing Legends, and then Not Alone podcast. Those are amazing podcasts if you want to hear about anything from ghosts to aliens to, weird.
I love
any
Double Density.
paranormal things happening. And Double Density has the little
tech
splash
section.
of tech section, and they're super, super entertaining.
Yeah, that's the best thing about them is just their chemistry is just perfect.
They're so fun to talk to, too.
Yeah.
Like, those guys are the best. And then, I guess, about real life things and stuff like that. The Vanished is a wonderful podcast about people that have went missing and their stories, and interviews with the people that, are missing them, and police officers related to the cases. She does an amazing job. Okay. You'll be terrified anytime you don't know where anybody's at because of all the stories about people who've went missing and have never been found. But yeah, it's super, super good. Cool. And then Anthology, I wanted to list a ton of them, but I decided to just pick a group, which is the District of Wonders. Okay, all right. So, yeah. So any genre that you want within the District of Wonders, especially Starship Sofa, is anthology for sci-fi stories. Nice. So if you want just little, one-off episodes of a story, they're definitely a group that has all the genres, and they do a really good job at them. So.
All right, and if you couldn't write all this down quick enough while you're driving or while you're turning a wrench right now at your day job or whatever you do, or trying to do data entry, send me, if you can, just to that top 8 at least. And if you want to include a few more that you really want to plug, and I'll throw them in the show notes.
I'll just send all 150.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'll be working till like 3 a.m. Almost got all the links in the deep. Like someone that goes to load the podcast, like, man, this must be a long one. It's taking a long time to load. No, it says it's only like an hour and 20 minutes.
It's just all show notes.
It's all the show notes.
It's all show notes.
All right. So what was your first podcast?
It was the No Sleep podcast.
No shit, huh?
And I actually found them from the Reddit.
Okay.
So reading the subreddit.
So they were your gateway drug.
Yeah. So in 2011, 2012, sometime in there, like right around when I started teaching. Okay. I found them, and then, from their recommendations, just kind of, I found actually Tales to Terrify. Okay. And then, more and more horror anthologies, and then I kind of just got out of control.
Nice. All right. What would you say right now is your most recent podcast?
So the most recent that I've started that I never listened to was the Boston Harbor Horror. So it's like a Lovecraftian horror story. I need to catch up on it because I did listen to a few episodes, but they've released more since then, and it seemed really, really good. So I immediately went and reviewed them. I loved the episodes that I did listen to. So
cool.
And then I'm also catching up on a very weird one, but Whatever Happened to Pizza at McDonald's.
There was pizza at McDonald's?
Exactly. I don't even know how to begin.
This was like a knock-knock joke.
I don't even know how to begin explaining it. Just listen to it, okay? It as weird as it sounds. It is exactly as weird as it sounds, and it's worth listening to.
So send me links to those two. Because what I'm doing, I noticed John Grill's brought up My Neighbors Are Dead. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't listened to that yet. So the other day, I finally got caught up on my podcast. I know you probably don't know what that feels like. But I got caught up on all my podcasts. And I'm sitting there like, do I start an audiobook? And there's a Star Wars book coming out tomorrow that I want to read. It's the third, or listen to, because I can't read at work. But it's the third anthology, or third book in the trilogy of Thrawn for the new canon. And I'm so excited for it to come out. So I'm like, I can't start another audiobook because if I do, then I'll push out the one I'm really waiting for. So I was like, okay, oh, John, he threw those recommendations out. Sure enough, I went to the show notes of his episode and just started listening to My Neighbors Are Dead and powering through it. It's really, really good. I guess that's more on the improv level too. Because it's well,
I haven't listened to that one.
Well, it's like just for the synopsis that he threw at me, I think it might have been the episode, which is like the guy from Poltergeist, like the Zenith TV salesman trying to explain that their TV's not liable for what happened. So it's like, or the bar owner from Terminator 2.
Okay.
Like from his perspective, guy just walked in, and so it's pretty cool. You know, it's hilarious. It's comedy, so it's comedy like / horror and things like that. So
this guy's really trying to figure out what happened to pizza at McDonald's.
Okay, I'm ready. All right, we're gonna plow ahead and shift gears here. Your favorite scary movie and why?
Okay, definitely Rose Red.
Okay.
And I love ghost stories. They're my favorite type of scary story in general. And then just the backstory behind it, the Diary of Ellen Rimbauer, and like the idea of the house. It's kind of like the Winchester Mystery House kind of story, where like she had to keep building the house in order to keep the spirits calm. There's also a little personal connection to that. My dad's a carpenter, and their house has never not been worked on. There's never been a part of the house that's not finished.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, like, I could definitely, like, relate to, like, obviously they don't do it because they think that it's going to keep the ghosts calm. But at the same time, it's like, my house is like that. My dad's never going to finish working on this house. He's still not finished working on this house, and I haven't lived there. And
what are you going to do if you go over there one day and he's got, like, little rune symbols carved into, like, the 2x4s before he covers them up?
I'm going to ask him why he didn't let me draw them, because they look bad. Because I did, like, actually, I've drawn, like, I did, like, sayings and stuff. I don't know, like, some quotes and stuff that my mom wanted on the kitchen floor.
Okay,
and
that's cool.
I painted, like, book covers on the steps going up to the second floor. So, yeah, I'd just be mad that he didn't let me paint them, and I wouldn't want to know what they mean. They used to have, like, giant Celtic crosses stained into the floor of their bedroom. But,
whoa. That's really cool.
You know. It's actual hardwood floor. You can only mop and lacquer it like so many times before like that's gone. So they would have to do a lot of work to do it again. But that was when I was growing up. So I could relate to it on that level. Plus I love ghost stories.
I guess it would take some precision to like burn them into the hardwood.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't do it while it was on the floor. Like my brother did it before they laid the floor down.
Oh, okay, okay. I see. Cool. All right. Okay. So we're gonna go on to the next one. I know that you're into education, so
okay. Favorite.
What's your favorite book?
Okay. So this was really, really hard to like. This was harder than coming up with my top 8 podcast. Like I'm an English major. Like I love stories, and I love a lot of stories for a lot of different reasons. But I'm just kind of gonna have to go with Their Eyes Were Watching God.
Okay.
And it's just like one of those stories that it's real. Like it's not. I don't. There's no part of it that is written in a sense that like this is going to be more entertaining. The time period, the environment around it, everything about it.
What time does it take place in?
It's after the Civil War. It's It's actually, it was one of Oprah's book club things. There's a movie with Halle Berry.
Okay.
And like the culture, it's about an African American woman and like her life and the different loves that she experienced, or lack thereof, and like the context, everything about it. Like I encountered it so many times getting my degree.
Okay.
That like I've probably analyzed it more than any other book that I've ever read.
You got my interest
and
on
I still like it.
Okay.
Like, and I still enjoyed it. And like there were books that like I analyzed one time and I'm like, no, I don't ever want to read that again.
Gotcha.
But something about it that's like the complexity and the issues that are addressed, everything about it's real and the emotions are relatable.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely throw a link to that in the show notes too, everybody. Hopefully there's an audible version of it.
I'm pretty sure it is. I mean,
is.
it's one of those it's been.
Maybe it's read by Halle Berry.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, she also does a really good job. Like
is it one like the movie is actually semi decent or two?
Because of the context, like it wasn't really hard to get what's in the book and
It's
there,
not
like what's going on. Like it's real life things, even though it's during that time period, and so
cool.
it's accurate enough. And But I guess I'll preface this with don't take my opinion because I'm definitely a person who will views a movie and a book as two separate pieces.
Yay!
And I like it's really hard to make me go, wow, you messed that up.
Okay.
I really tend to look at them as this belongs to the director, this belongs to the writer. These are two different works of art. And
you should plug your mind in and share it with the rest of the internet.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. You have to probably just screw up my favorite character and then you're good. That's how you get me mad.
All right. So, video games. What are you currently playing? And I guess, what's your favorite video game? And then what are you currently playing?
So, we're just going to go with World of Warcraft.
Okay. When'd you start?
Not back in vanilla. I'm not that. I didn't play video games back then. No, I started in probably 2007, and I've played it off and on, and it's kind of just ends up being my favorite because every time I don't have anything to play, I go back.
Right.
Like, there's always people that I can play with. There's always something to do.
I saw Christina Nichols shared her I'm back. Like, it showed her World of Warcraft character. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's just like you get to that point, like, especially during the summer. There's usually a gaming drought during the summer. There's no good games out or anything like that. And you're like, I'll just go back and I'll just do one raid, I'll just, and then you're in there for like another year. Like, I'll
like
just
you're describing a drug. Just take one hit.
Just a little bit. So yeah, I always end up, there's always something to do. I like the aesthetics of the game. I like the gameplay. I like that, no matter what level of gaming you are, whether you're like a newbie and you can't walk a straight line or like you're super hardcore, like there's something for you to do in the game. So
I enjoyed it. I actually played it. I started in May of 2007 and probably played all the way through to mid 2009. But it was more of what my friend got me into it. He had been playing it since inception or whatever. And he's like, man, well, I guess he had lost a few friends that were playing it or something came up with school. And
I don't know, the refer friend perks are pretty nice.
Yeah, probably that too. So I joined his guild and with his guild bank and I was like, I'll put enough in there for you to get started. Let's these kind of things. And I got really into it. I did an undead priest because I thought that sounded cool. His name was...
That's probably what I'm going to play in Classic when it comes back out.
his name was Finis. But it got to the point my son was born, and I know I've heard a lot of World of Warcraft people. Well, then I had kids and I couldn't play no more. So, but it wasn't that because I still played after my son was born. It just got a lot less, and then our music started taking off, and it was one of those kind of things that it just got to the point of if I do this, it's going to hinder this and this. But I can't really let a game, do something like that. But more than anything, it was the social aspect of the game that I really loved. All right, so moving ahead. Your favorite color, and what is something you own that proves it?
So this one's actually really easy.
Okay.
It's lime green, and it's my computer chair that I sit in all the time, and you can see on my streams.
Your streams?
What?
What?
I didn't even mention that. But yeah, it's lime green zebra, so.
Okay, cool. Well, you're going to have to plug your streams now. Where can people see you stream?
At Twitch. It's still Desdymona.
Desdymona. All right. Spelled the same
Twitch,
way.
yes.
D. All right, cool. All right, we'll link that below too. So you can just hit click and subscribe, click and follow, and all that
You can
stuff.
watch me doodle.
Yeah. She's doodled some Sirenicide work on there too, and Our Strange Skies. I watched that one. That's cool. That's actually been one of my favorite parts of Twitch so far. Like, 'cause I'm very new to it. I mean, I literally just started trying right when I met you last year. So it was really cool, like watching you doodle and stuff like that. It's like, this is different than just somebody playing a video game. So
I find it actually the opposite. I'd rather watch somebody play a game. I can't watch other people do art. It's not irritating. It's just really boring.
See, I was writing. I was actually writing the finale when I was watching you do that first one. And it was cool because I could hear your conversation, and then I'd look over, type in, and be like, oh, whoa. Because I look away for like 3 minutes, and I look back, and like, this new section's done. So it's really cool. I could see, like, I guess just watching.
Yeah, you can't, like, you definitely have to multitask.
If you're out there working on something, doing, especially, who was it that, I'm trying to remember who said to listen to Twitch while you.
Oh, it was one of the interviews you did, but yeah, that's exactly how I watch Twitch. Is you have to multitask, like play a game and watch.
Oh, Atticus.
Play the game. Yeah,
Atticus was like, yeah, just listen to somebody. Like just turn Twitch on, like super loud volume where it's gonna interfere. But a lot of like, oh, what?
A lot of times I'm watching people play the game that I'm playing. Like when we play Worlds Adrift, like we would watch other people that are playing at the same time.
Cool. All right, so if you could visit any place on the globe, what would it be, or where would it be? I need to change that question, and why?
Okay, so this was really hard too because I would like to go lots of like actual places that are, nice and pretty and stuff like that. But the creepy side of me really wants to go to Chernobyl. I don't want to die.
Me too.
I don't want to die. I just want to be like in awe and like, yeah, it's terrifying, but I don't want radiation.
I had the swimming pool as my background. So I guess to one of the schools or something that's there. There's a really eerie image of that somebody took that went out there of the Olympic-sized swimming pool, and all the lights are coming in. Of course, they did some like HDR effects and stuff like that, but it's so like beautiful for like to me. I think it's
sad. It's obviously sad and tragic and like
it's
all
so
of that.
modern, but it looks like it's from centuries ago. It's just epic. It's the post-apocalypse like here.
It is, yes. Like so, that dystopian scape that you picture in so many stories and stuff like that, but it's real. And I mean, I just want to be there. Like, right. I just want to see it and walk around and take the pictures. Sit down,
because I had this on a public monitor. Mm-hmm. Like, so our customers would sit down and be like, what is wrong with this What's person? That? Like, oh, that's Chernobyl. And, this is before HBO, and now it's a pop culture thing, I guess. Yeah. But they're like, that's like Chernobyl, like, the reactor that exploded, that, like, was the worst explosion in history, like, the worst thing mankind has done yet. Oh,
that
no.
Thing? No.
But that's a really creepy picture. Where's that swimming pool? Chernobyl.
And that's actually something that I've said for a long time. Like, I would love to go there.
Well, now they let tourists in for a certain amount of time. Yeah. Like, you can go through it, or I guess certain areas of it. Like,
I don't know if I trust them enough.
I know. It's like
I want to, but I'm not really sure that I ever am because I kind of want to live. Like, I don't want to get radiation.
One of the Star Wars, one of the Transformers films was filmed, like, they were talking about, like, the whole film crew is on certain parts, like,
radiation sickness does not look fun. I want to live as many years
Have you seen the documentary yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's a reason it's a pop culture force. It's written very well. A lot of it is it doesn't spoil really. You can't really spoil what happened. But it's...
My mom's told me a lot about it, so
but
it's okay.
Basically, the only thing that they've taken liberties with, like, apparently there was, like, a whole team that they compiled into one female character. And it's kind of cool instead of, like, trying to, I guess...
They're just trying to make the story more interesting.
Make the story more interesting, but also, how would you follow a whole team's point of views on all these different things? That would be, like, that wouldn't be a mini-series. That would be, like, 7 seasons of TV. And then it would lose people. So they did a really good job of taking, like, the, like, Skarsgård, just, oh, God, he's so good. Like, because you see him start off as just this hard ass trying to, stereotypical Russian, cover it up, and, like, evolve into a human. Like, very, like, sympathetic of the situation. It's really good. We got into it kind of late, too. We just finished it maybe 2 weeks ago. Because finally I was like, all right, I can't not be at work. Everybody keeps saying, have you seen this? Like, I thought you
my mom told me a lot about it when it first happened, like when that first came out, but I haven't sat down and watched it yet.
And it's cool because it's a miniseries. It's one and done.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I got to sit down and sign up for 8 seasons of this. Got to be a completist.
Yeah, no.
Ugh. All right. So in the fictional world, where is a fictional place if you go anywhere? Where would that be?
I'm going to change my answer from my notes. So I have played a lot of this game called Worlds Adrift.
Okay.
It's a dead game, so don't worry about links and going to buy it because the servers are closing down.
No.
But really, if I have fictional places, and it's a very, I guess, narcissistic thing to say, but I want to visit that world because within that world has been worlds that I've created.
Okay.
Because part of that game allowed players to create islands, and the point of the game was to create pirate ships and fly through the islands and attack each other and have territory control and stuff like that. And many maps that they've released, I've had actual islands that I've created.
I know you showed me a few.
Be part of the map, and so it's. We keep talking about the game actually dying, and my best memories of that game is getting to sit there and see people play and do things on a world that I created. And it's I really want to go visit those places too. So
are they moving on to a different project, or is it?
It's just dead. Dead. Servers close on Friday.
No. Oh my God, that sucks. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
No, I'm so
It's
sorry.
Dead. So and then not to go into why it's dead, but it's dead and that's okay.
Right.
But it's also felt really cool to have worlds that I'm not a video game developer. I don't know anything about that, but I still was able to contribute to a video game.
Right.
So it was really cool.
Maybe some multi-billionaires listening to us right now.
Yeah, we've all already tweeted Elon. He's not gonna
He's not doing it.
He's not gonna do it.
Well, he's got too much stuff going on. You need to find a bored billionaire and tweet him.
It's true.
All right. Okay, so where are we going from here? This is one that I guess I gotta bring up. So on a scale of 10 out of 10, how is Star Wars still an 11?
Okay, so I had to think really hard about this because you probably already realized this. I don't know that much about Star Wars. It's not that I don't like it. It's just not my thing.
Just a movie.
It is. And it's probably an 11 for a lot of people because it does appeal to so many people. I really, it's there. It's good.
Right.
And, it's just not my fandom.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm not a completionist at all with anything, with shows or books or anything. If I get bored or it's just not my thing,
right.
I don't keep up with it. And so it's not necessarily because I don't like it. I just, haven't paid attention to it in literally decades.
Okay. Well, that's cool. It'll be the first, show note blip I can put that doesn't have comma Star Wars. That'll make a good piece of the fandom thank God. No Star Wars conversation.
Yep.
We still got a lot of these interviews left.
Yeah, he could talk about it all day. I'm just not going to have anything to add to the conversation.
What was, you were giving one of the reviews? Was it Atticus's eyes? You're hey, you actually made it interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't bored by the conversation, even though I had no idea what was happening.
All right. What is a song that takes you away from it all?
Okay. So, I don't know if I can just, I don't really have a reason.
Okay.
So much. But yeah, it's definitely a song called Abe Dos Mil by Glassjaw.
Okay.
It just it's that song that I found at the right time in my life that.
Send me a link to it too, because I'm going to eventually, when all these are done, and it'll be on the Sirenicide, and I'll do YouTube links, that way people can see if there's any visual medium to some of them. A master playlist would be the ICE playlist. I think that'll be kind of cool, because it's going to be really schizophrenic. All over the place.
I mean, that's really kind of how I listen to music anyways. It's so many different genres, and it's kind of all over the place in style and mood and everything.
Nice.
But that's it doesn't matter the mood.
You already have a link in your
Yes,
notes.
there's definitely, it doesn't matter my mood. That song is always a good song.
It's
to
never.
me.
Well, that's the song. It's oh, I don't listen to that. I heard it a million times.
No, I will literally
song.
sing. I mean, unless somebody's dying or something, I will sing along.
Nice. Okay.
So.
All right. Speaking of music, what are you spinning or streaming right now?
So when I'm working on stuff, like not on stream or like just like doing actual work or even just drawing or whatever, like I guess recently I just listened to a lot of Florence and the Machine.
Cool.
Like it's just chill.
I've never heard them until the Game of Thrones. Jenny of
She's
Old Stones.
amazing.
And
I've
that
seen
was
her in concert
epic.
twice.
Okay, cool.
In the Woodlands, and the first time was better, but it was still like super. Like her stage presence is amazing, and yeah, her music like it's a lot of energy, but it's also calming. So,
All right, so I just realized I think I skipped over one. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, or Game of Thrones?
you see my answer. The Dark Tower series.
That doesn't count.
Sorry. If we're listing epics, that's mine.
Okay. The Dark Tower series, the Gunslinger.
Yes.
So did that movie disappoint you?
No, it wasn't
Oh
horrible.
my god,
like,
that's
like,
awesome.
no,
See, I
like,
haven't seen it yet because everybody's like, don't. Just don't.
It was, I mean, as a separate piece of art,
like just seeing a peek into that.
it was pretty cool. It wasn't that good of a movie. But, like, it was all right. Like,
But you weren't like crying with like anger.
like, no, I don't,
Just don't do that.
like, I just don't, like, I don't care that much. Okay, so I will, like, I guess go on the little tangent of, like, I did stop watching Game of Thrones because I did not like what they did with all of the characters from Dorne.
Okay.
I am, and this is probably spoiling questions coming up, but I'm a super
Get over it.
huge fan of secondary and like tertiary characters. Like I
Okay.
really like the side characters. We watch TV shows. I always end up like my favorite character ends up being one of those characters.
Well, I knew that was up because when I first met you, you're like, Vima's my favorite character in your series.
Exactly.
I'm like,
I like
really?
characters that are not like. I always attach myself to one of those, and then reading the books because I have read all of Game of Thrones. I really, really loved that house, and I loved the way that the sand snakes were portrayed and everything.
And they destroyed it.
They were so cheesy that I just stopped caring.
And it
about,
was
like,
sad. It wasn't even the actors as much as it was just the dialogue.
the
was just
writing.
bad.
The writing
Yeah.
it was so cheesy that I was just like, you just
Duncan's listening to this right now, like, I can't believe she's got Johnny batching Game of Thrones.
like those were my characters. I was looking forward to that part of the show, and it's not that I don't
So
like Game of Thrones.
You stopped watching, you said, right?
Like I pretty much stopped.
So if you're not caught
then.
up on Game of Thrones, fast forward like 30 seconds. So you know who Strickland is in the books.
Yes.
Okay, so he's the leader of the Golden Company. He's in the finale, like the finale.
Mm-hmm.
It has no dialogue. And again, he's like killed like that. Like just wiped
like-
out. Just like Dragonfire done.
And we said we were gonna watch, like, oh, we'll just wait till that season's over and then we'll do it. And then the next season came out and like it was already over. We're like, crap, well, like we still have all of that. And I just like can't motivate myself to care
I got you.
because I feel like it's just like it's not the story that I wanted to see
Right.
anymore. And it's like it's
I will-
bad or good.
I guess as a friend to a friend, I will say, like, I mean, the Dorn thing, you can tell they know they screwed up because it's like just dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean dropped like left open-ended. I don't know how far you got, but here's some more spoilers. So we're still talking Game of Thrones. Skip ahead a couple more seconds. I can't remember her name now. The mom.
It's been so long now that it's been out of my head for
anyway.
years, but
Oberyn's love woman. Anyway, she gets basically they kind of put her down in a dungeon and kind of give her the same treatment she gave Marcella. I don't know if you got that. Oh yeah, I'm assuming you got that far because that's right when it starts getting dumb. Like she kills Cersei's daughter or whatever. They kind of flip that around on her, like take her daughter and put her across the way from in the dungeon, and like you're gonna watch your daughter melt, like what you did to mine. And it's like, okay, cool. And then they were like, put a pin in it. It's done.
yeah, just
Like
close that
we're finished.
storyline.
Now there's a little bit more with like them being like on a boat, like so that they're still like in the story. Like you can see like Dorne is involved with Daenerys and all that. But as a whole, like looking at it back, like I'm really excited to go back and start one all the way and plow through because I've never binged it. I binged the first season.
Yeah.
I've
did
never
too.
and then I watched every other episode like week to week, and I think that really kills it. Like, I think a lot of people's problem is because they've invested. Most of the people I know, like right now, they're like, "Hey, it's not too bad." I talked to them like, "Well, when did you start?" "Oh, well, everybody said the final season was coming, so I went ahead and just watched
Binged
all
all of
7
it,
seasons." Like,
right.
it's not that bad of a show. It's like, I wish I would have done that. So I'm kind of excited to go back and binge it because I did enjoy it. I mean, obviously,
I really enjoyed it until then. And it's not that I didn't think I would enjoy it anymore. I just kind of my passion for caring about what was going to happen. It's like, I just kind of lost faith in the writers at that point. Was like, okay, like
they said they got somebody tried to. I just read like one of those clickbait headlines. I didn't read the actual article. Like TLDR kind of thing. But it was just it was pretty funny. It was just like. Cast member of Game of Thrones trying to defend it at Comic-Con gets booed by the whole crowd.
Wow.
I was like, oh, that must have felt good.
Well, and the thing is like, it doesn't mean because you messed up my characters that it's a bad show. It just means that I'm no longer interested in the show.
I know I'm in the minority because people have no problem letting me know. I'm one of the very few people that's satisfied with the ending.
Okay.
Like, I mean, of course, fan fiction piece of me wants to be like, well, they could have did this and this and that would have been cool, but it's not my show. I didn't write it.
Exactly.
And the things that they touched on throughout the series, even there's some parts in that last season that are still just holy crap, I would have never thought of that. Like, that's epic. But then, there's water bottles sitting underneath somebody's chair and coffee cups on a table. Yeah, exactly. So you could definitely tell that they'd checked out.
Yeah.
So, all right. But the Dark Tower series, I've been needing more of a reason to get into it and read it. So many people have told me, like since 2002 or when did it start? It was somewhere around there, 03.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time, and I guess like what would appeal to it from like your perspective, like it touches on so many genres.
Cool.
Because the Gunslinger is a Western, but it's like dystopian Western.
Right. Nice.
And like there's fantasy, of course it's Stephen King, so the horror is all over the place.
Right. But he's proven over and over again that he's not just a horror writer.
Right, and he touches, of course, the characters, like the character development.
How many books is it?
7?
7? Okay.
8, something like that. But they get bigger and bigger and bigger. Like it starts out that like, a half an inch and then it's like they're huge. I think it's 7. It's been a while since I've read through it, but I guess that's the appeal to me is that it's not just a horror series or it's not just an epic fantasy.
Right.
It takes place in, lots of timelines.
I think
and lots
you're really
of
going to
enjoy
enjoy where this show's headed.
Lots of places.
Trying to get away from the horror element.
And it's not, I keep saying that, but, it's not that one just genre. It carries so many of them. And of course, Stephen King's a great storyteller, so.
All right. So, have you ever been under a surgical knife?
Yeah, I had my gallbladder out in 2015.
Oh, man. Everybody just heard, like, yours is like a lot. Remember we got all graphic on his?
It's the most common surgery in America. So, I mean, most people listening have probably had it too. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Cool. I mean, that's, at least you got touched by the blade at least once. Yeah. Some people just haven't.
I've got 2 scars. Actually, 3 scars. Yeah.
Okay, so yours might have been more of like, because he was in here talking about it. And again, everybody else in podcast land's heard this already, but I haven't put it together where we're recording, so you haven't heard his interview yet. But he's like, they were telling him like all of how this could go, but they ended up being able to do like, I guess, microscopic or endoscopic to get his done. And but he was like right there. If he wouldn't have, then it would have been a whole lot more.
Mine was emergency. Like I went to it was emergency in the sense that like I had it within 24 hours of seeing the surgeon, but like I like didn't have to like be in an ambulance or anything like that. It was like I went in to see the surgeon because I knew that I was going to need surgery soon, and he was like, we're going to get you in at the very first appointment that I can possibly get you in. And I was like, oh, okay. But yeah.
All right. Okay, well, we'll be right back, everybody. Here is Des the waitress.
What'll it be, hon?
I'll take a coffee black. And the menu, please.
Coming right up.
Bradley, tell me, Matt, are you enlightened now? Was it all worth it?
You're gonna have to leave. I can't have you punch another customer, or I'm gonna call the cops.
No, that won't be necessary. I probably had that coming. I'll tell you what. Bring me a coffee too. My friend and I have some catching up to do. Isn't that right, Harper? I understand you're mad, but if I know you like I think I know you, the curiosity has to be gnawing at you.
Fine. Have a seat.
1 coffee coming up.
Okay, so since you are the first person to be here, that we're not like, can you relate to this main character, all that. I'd say, can you relate to any of the characters?
So, no. Like, they're in this world that's nothing like ours. And, like, of course they feel emotions and, like, you can relate to humans.
Right.
But, like, there's not a particular character where, like, okay, that's the character that I relate to the most. But I can empathize with them, and like that's part of what makes it a good story. Is even though like none of these people are anything like me or how I think I would react in this situation, they're still people. Like
Right.
They're not characters.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. That's a lot better answer. I was like, man, how am I going to ask her this question? Okay, so the anathema, the last great reign of death. Would you go through it with Doc and his minions in the USG, Sirenicide, the Dark Elite, the good guys in Trinity, or would you just die?
So, I mean, I'd like to be cool and be like, of course, I'd totally like be there with Sirenicide and I'd be able to do stuff. But I mean, come on, like, I would probably just be dead. Like, nobody's really the main character in a really cool story. That's not how things work.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah.
That's been a pretty popular answer, though. But that's kind of cool because you know, I can sympathize with that. It's like, this world. It's like every street you go down, there's something's either gonna like tear into you or somebody's gonna kidnap you and rip out your organs.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be dead, but you know, I'd like to say I'd get lucky and like have gotten, you know, accidentally wrecked and scarred, and I'd be okay.
I'm here.
I still wouldn't know why. Like I would be with them, but I wouldn't know. I'm just like, what happened?
All right, so the final season. Are you ready?
I'm really excited.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be awesome.
Sweet.
You know, spoilers.
All right, guys. Well, I guess. What do you think? What's been one of your favorite moments so far in the show? Not including season 4. I know you're very versed on it.
Okay, so this is the one that I was spoiling earlier with my secondary and tertiary characters and stuff. But like, whenever All Is Quiet came out with the whole future, like the dystopian thing, it's like that character is. It's part of the world, but it's not because it's so far removed that was really fascinating. And of course, you know, I want to know more.
You're gonna get to. So that's Demery, and she takes place in the post anathema world, which we don't know if that's a fever dream or if that's how it's all gonna go down. But I guess we're gonna learn.
It's something.
It's something. That is I got a friend at work, Maya. She started listening, joined us as a patron, so that's awesome. And she just listened to that a few days ago and like peeked over the cubicle where it goes, "What the fuck just happened in this episode I listened to? Like,
Exactly.
What is going on? Is it did it end? Then you didn't tell me.
Like,
did I skip ahead? Like
the whole end happened, and we're just like, what?
Oh man, but
That's one of those where you do that, and then, you know, the next episode goes, and 200 years ago,
exactly.
This is how we got back to this. You like Quentin Tarantino, the plot.
That's pretty good. All right, so speaking of Patreon, we'll be right back with the Patreon giveaway. Stick around.
My work has been
Have you heard about Abby's petticoats? Unsports have get me those.
all these people in this party are just dressing so nice, and I just want to
Have you seen her? They were just
Okay, so we are back. And to explain the rules again, if you're not familiar with them yet, most people that are winning these things are probably familiar by now, but we leave out the last 2 winners of the from the previous 2 episodes, and everybody else is entered to win. So, yeah, I have a list of, let's see how many we got here. We got 42, and I believe...
the meaning of life.
So today's list, I went ahead and did alphabetical order. Haven't done that in a while. I've been mixing them up like what date they joined. Then there's a few things that you can just randomize your Excel page. I've done that a few times. So here we go. I always like having a witness. That makes this so much easier.
I'm watching, guys.
All right. So I'm going to put the wiretap here, and here we go. Siri, pick a number between 1 and 42.
The answer is 42.
What?
The meaning to life, the universe, and everything.
Waylon McKenzie. It pays to be a W today. All right, you just won yourself a Sirenicide Skyline serialized tapestry to hang up in your... put it over your dining room table. That way, it's a conversation piece for the people that come over. All right? Okay, so we're going to close it out now. Once again, let them know where they can find your streams, where they can find your tweets, where they can find everything that is Desdymona.
Everything Desdymona. Desdymona.
All right. And we'll have all those links down below. Please show our master of lore all the love, and thank you so much for being here.
Let's do this again.
We will. I plan on taking the core team. I guess this is some news that could have been the news beat, or people actually stuck around all the way to the end. But I plan on doing a post show, like once the series is over, with each of the people involved in creating it, because then we can spoil the shit out of it and just talk about it. So do a deep dive. All right, guys. And that's it. We'll see you on the next refrigerator episode. Later.
All elements of Sirenicide are copyright 2019 by Atrium Dynamics unless otherwise stated. Any duplication of this production without the secured written consent of Atrium Dynamics is strictly prohibited. Please visit Sirenicide.com for more details.
I'll be hosting a luncheon for the church. I would really like you to attend.